This training video is brought to you by K-Alliance. K-Alliance provides high-quality instructor-led training videos for desktop, IT, and soft skills. Visit us online at www.kalliance.com to sign up for your free 7-day trial. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope you learned something new. Real videos, real learning, real success.
In this demonstration, we'll take a look at the process for configuring multiple local GPOs. As we've talked about, local GPOs are sort of a misnomer, but you've got this ability to create and set up local computer policies, and we've talked about a few different areas, and so you just need to differentiate, make sure we're all in understand what we're talking about. Okay, so as soon as I type in security, one of the options that pops up is the local security policy. This is what we identified as secpol.msc. Okay, that is specifically security related stuff. Authentication, password and account lockout policies, application control policies, software restriction. You've got various security options here for renaming accounts or not allowing Microsoft accounts, which is a new feature in Windows 8. The user account control settings are all here. So that's it's your security settings section. Now what you're going to notice here is that this is a very small part of the local computer policy. If I go start run, I keep saying that, if I go Windows R and open up the run box, which I always do, and I type in gpedit.msc, or you type that same thing into the start page, then what you are going to get is the local group policy editor. Okay, now notice this is larger. You get computer settings and user settings. The computer settings, well, technically, all the settings in this policy affect everybody. It's just some things are different. Under user config, you've got some settings for control panel, desktop, start menu, taskbar. You don't have all those same things here. You do have control panel, but it's different settings. So it's just where can you go to find the settings. But the settings in here affect everybody. But notice, it's a lot more than just security stuff. In fact, the local security policy is that right there. It's one little node in the larger local, what I call local computer policy, they're referring to as local group policy. Now realize everything or this local group policy editor, this is the local computer policy, realize that anything you do in here will affect every single person. So you may not actually want to do that. Let's go to the start page and type in MMC. Okay, when I type in MMC, I have the Microsoft Management Console. It opens up as a blank console. I can hit File, Add, Remove, Snap In, and I have the Group Policy Object Editor. Now when I hit Add, it's going to say, well, where did you want to point it? Is it going to point at the local computer? And that's the exact same as your gpedit.msc. If you hit Browse and go to Users, then here are my multiple local group policies. All right? I can set up a policy for all non-admins. I can set up a policy for admins. And I can set up policies for individual users. Now, mind you, when you click, we'll say for non-admins, we hit OK and finish. Okay, again, now when I expand this, like security policy, we're actually dealing with far less. We're only dealing with the user configuration settings. But anything in here would only apply to non-administrators. Okay, so for instance, maybe I go in and I prohibit access to certain control panel settings, or I prohibit access to the control panel in its entirety for non-admins. That's maybe a silly example. I don't know why you would need to do that, but the point is simply, if you find yourself in a work group situation, then you are able to create group policies that affect just individual local user accounts. All right, and so essentially, just as a refresh, we've got three different things. We've got local security policy, which affects everybody and is just the security settings. Okay, we have local computer policy, and that is computer and user related settings that affect everyone. And then we have the ability to create policies for certain types of users or individual users, and those would just contain user settings that were for those specific individuals. All right, and so that's kind of the designation. We should go back and say, if you're in a domain environment, I don't remember if I said this or not, if you're in a domain environment, it's very, very unlikely that you will use these. So these are primarily for work group situations where you don't have Active Directory and centralized administration. But we may find ourselves in those situations, and the local policies can be very useful for configuring a wide variety of settings.
We hope you enjoyed this preview video. Please click on the like button below if you did, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to visit us at www.kalliance.com to sign up for your free 7-day trial today. You could learn a lot in a week.